The convening of a youth parliament is often an exercise in theatre. The youth play dress up and pretend to be real leaders speaking on issues where they are completely out of their depth with no power or influence at all. This time, however, youth leaders were encouraged to be real.
What you say is very important. Don't think because this bill has passed, it now become an act that it is not important. What you say to us as policymakers, as legislators, it is very, very important. Okay? Your contributions matter. You are not the leaders of tomorrow. Let me remind you. You are leading today.
And that is exactly what they did. The main topic of discussion was the darkest, most threatening subject in real-life Saint Lucia, the persistent problem of criminal violence.
Today, I stand before you with a profound sense of purpose and hope as we deliberate on a matter critical to the safety of and future of our beloved nation, the designation of the crime escalated area under the Suppression of Escalated Crime Police Hours Act, dated 2023. This legislation is a vital step in addressing the wave of violence that has affected our communities and safeguarding the values that bind us as a people.
According to the Youth Governor General, criminality and violence are cannibalizing the binding fabric of society, and police need greater powers in order to effectively curb that criminality. And according to the Youth Prime Minister, the nation needs to shake off the curse of political partisanship to effectively address the epidemic of crime sweeping the region.
I'd also go further to say that the opposition members would not agree that crime is an increasing problem in Saint Lucia. It's not just opposition to us as a youth governing party, but opposition to the country itself, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the first step to dealing with a problem that arises, especially a problem of such grave severity, is to first acknowledge its existence. We cannot tackle a problem that we have not properly acknowledged its severity and existence.
Youth Prime Minister Yard was firmly on the side of granting police sweeping powers that could lead to more arrests, convictions, and incarcerations, sentiments that seem to echo those of the Salvadoran President Nayib Bukele, who fought back against rampant gang violence with harsh police tactics and the building of the biggest prisons in Latin America. However, the opposition had some other considerations.
I refuse to stand here and oppose for opposing's sake. I caution my team not to do so. But I would agree with the bill if our police act was lacking. To say that we are for crime, or if we don't agree with the bill, we are for crime, it is not so, because we have a police act that has made these allocations. So are we saying that the police act is lacking?
According to James, such sweeping powers must come with powerful oversight to ensure that power does not corrupt the officers charged with curbing the criminality.
The bill grants broad powers to the police without sufficient oversight, potentially infringing on civil liberties and human rights. The vague definition of escalated crime in Clause 2, it is open to interpretation, which could lead to the abuse and misuse of powers. The definition is broad and subjective, particularly phrases like substantial death or widespread fear and panic. The vagueness could allow for liberal interpretation. While I do not doubt our police force is full of noble men and women, we must not leave anything to chance for the few that are rotten.
The challenge of Senate President Alvina Reynolds seems to have been answered by a generation that has more opportunity than any other generation before it, but faces challenges that no other generation has ever faced. As the debate progressed, what emerged was not yet a new generation of political leaders, but a better way of political thinking, where debate was hot, but the facts were sacred, and misinformation had no place, because concern for the plight of the people of Saint Lucia was the main motivating force. For Choice News Now, I'm Jason Seaflay.